Hey everybody, hope you're still enjoying Star Wars Squadrons. I know I've dumped a lot of hours into this game and I'm still having a blast. And although I'm having a really great time playing Squadrons, there are some things I've noticed that devs need to address. Now I lightly touched some of this stuff in my last video about fleet battles, so if you haven't seen that, be sure to check it out. And of course, I'd love to hear what you guys agree or disagree with my points of this video, and what you guys would like to see changed, added, removed within the game. So to begin with, let's talk about something that really breaks fleet battles on like a structural level currently. So in my previous video, we talked about how morale is the most important mechanic to keep track of in fleet battles, whether you're on offense or defense. On top of this, we discussed how AI starships that fly around are a great way to help maintain morale on either side. However, these AI ships seem to always meet in what I would call the absolute middle of the map versus the relative middle. Now what I mean by this is the two fleets can like slowly encroach on each other based on how well a team is doing. This becomes a significant problem when you take out both of a cruiser on one team and yours start to slowly come in across the map. This can cause the absolute middle of the map to then be located within an instant kill zone for the defenders to reach. This can cause the attackers to basically snowball in a game where they can just sit back in a completely safe area and farm AI ships forever, and basically never lose the ability to attack. Now I don't want to see AI ships removed, because I feel overall they're quite important to help encourage map control, and especially to get defenders from turtling as a bunch of turrets for the entire defense round. However, until this bug is fixed, some matches can feel really brutal. The devs need to find some way to recalculate where the AI ships should be fighting, given where both sides have their flagships located, along with the position of frigates and cruisers. Now the other thing I want to talk about are the balance issues I believe exist between the Imperials and the Republic. Now, Imperials have no shields and everything but supports, so they have larger holes to make up for it. Now this means they don't have any passive regeneration like shields. However, this makes repairs from components and supply ships much more valuable. Sending a repair droid to a TIE bomber is about twice as effective as sending one to a Y-wing, and this only increases when you include reinforced holes. For example, the TIE bomber can have 4,000 health. This translates to a heal of 2,000 for every repair droid sent to it, which can happen every few seconds. That's the entire whole health of a tanked up X-wing, and can be spammed every few seconds. Now yes, their high hull health doesn't stop them from being affected by ion weapons, but think about this. Those same ion weapons can be used against the Republic, causing increased DPS to their overall effective HP by tearing through shields like it's nothing. This leaves the same disabled starfighter with even less hull to protect itself while it's stuck. Next up is the emergency power converter, and I'm not sure how they need to adjust this, but it definitely needs some work. For example, a TIE Interceptor with a Plasburst cannon can have unlimited engine boost simply by putting all of the power into weapons and converting it into boost every time you need to. Now I really doubt the devs were planning on people being able to maintain full engine boost forever by keeping all of their power in weapons. It doesn't seem like that was their intent. Another example that I think is a lot more glaring is that TIE bombers can have unlimited overcharge on their rotary guns. Now this allows them to pull off unrivaled sustained damage versus capital ships, and can kill many enemy ships at the same time. On top of this, you won't even have to take points off of engines while you maintain continuous fire, helping you escape after dealing damage. For me personally, when I'm playing a TIE bomber, there seems to be no reason to ever take power out of my engines. In general, this means you're going to have more maneuverability than a standard Y-wing, while also having continuously overcharged weapons, which is something they cannot do. This is on top of the fact that Y-wing rotary cannons have 200 less DPS than the TIE rotary cannons. Now let's step back for a second, and you can say, well, the rebels have the ability to overcharge their shields, that's true, and being able to swap them from front and back focus can really give you a lot of extra health. But I want to take a look at what it takes to have maximum effectiveness between the Y-wing and the TIE bomber. Say you're a Y-wing that wants to attack the enemy capital ships. Well, first you're going to want to overcharge your shields. Then, after you overcharge your shields, you're going to want to overcharge your weapons. Now on a Y-wing, this takes quite a while with the rotary cannons. Like a seriously long amount of time if you want to fill the bar up all the way. After that is when you're going to want to put power back into your engines and build up that boost so you can close the distance quickly once you get within enemy attack range. But even while you're charging up your boost, you're slowly losing your weapon overcharge already. And this entire process can take almost a minute to accomplish. Now compare this to the Imperials with the TIE Bomber, where you put everything into your boost and you charge in, and once you're at the target you emergency convert power for sustained infinite DPS, with higher damage than all those steps you did for the Y-Wing. Now this causes Republic bomber pilots to have to decide if they want to just sit back and wait 30 seconds for their weapons to charge, or if you want to just go in and maybe run out of ammo when you're in the middle of doing damage. And that's a really important thing to think about in this game, is the time investment it takes to charge your weapons. 30 seconds is a long time in this game to not be doing anything like attacking. But nothing's going to feel worse than you find that opening and you go in to attack something, but you don't have enough damage to actually finish it off because halfway through your assault you run out of ammo. Now to fix this kind of stuff, I'm not really sure which way is the right direction to go. Maybe the Y-Wing should have an increased charge rate for their weapons, because right now it is very long. But at the same time, the emergency power converters could probably cause a penalty for having to actually use them, and not just simply overcharge your weapons to max basically every time you tap it. Please let me know down below what you would do to change these kinds of things. And finally in this video, I want to tackle Flagship Design once more. Now I know the developers don't really have a lot of choice in this because they have to work with what the material gives them for locations for subsystems and everything like that. But it definitely seems that the Star Destroyer is a lot harder to kill than an MC-75. The main thing I notice is that their subsystems are located towards the rear of a Star Destroyer, forcing you to fly over the entire length of the ship to get an attack in, all while being extremely exposed to enemy defenses, including turrets and players. And then compare that to the MC-75, who has all of their subsystems on the front half of the ship. On top of this, all of the subsystems are basically in a straight line on the ship. This allows people in TIE bombers to just go in, destroy a shield generator, which is incredibly easy to hit because of its flat surface. It makes bombs incredibly easy to drop, along with just giving you a large hitbox to aim at. And then you either turn your ship up or down, and within 5 seconds you're destroying another subsystem. And that's definitely the biggest problem I see, is how easy it is to take down those shield generators. Taking them down quickly means that for the rest of the game, all the damage you're dealing to the flagship is not going to regenerate. This puts the Republic on a giant amount of pressure immediately when they fall. And then again, this is only comboed by the fact that the TIE Bomber is doing so much more damage than the Y-Wing. Now I know they can't really move the systems around too much, but maybe make the shield generators and things like that a little tankier on the MC-75, so that players can at least kind of react to the damage coming in, while also just kind of lowering overall bomber damage between the beam cannon meta and overcharge lasers on a TIE Bomber. Could help the MC-75 feel a little bit more defendable. Once again, I'd love to hear your opinions on this, and your ideas to how to make this better. So that'll cover it for today's video. If you enjoyed this video, please drop a like, and if you want to see more content like this, be sure to subscribe. And I'll see you all next time.